You know, those who say that bees are very forgiving hasn't been trying to raise queens. Uh, I've been going through kind of a rough spell trying to raise queens, and it pretty much stems from inexperience and impatience, and just not taking my time to do things the right way. That and, some unlucky terms as well, I guess you could say. Um, I still think it's very, very important to raise your own queens, especially in your own region, to get a local breed of stock, your own stock for overwintering success. My first round of grafts, you saw, I put a video out. Thought I had a high success rate, and I ended up with one. One cap cell. And I took that cell, put it in my incubator, and as it turns out, my incubator that I had purchased has quite a big fluctuation of temperature from top to bottom. And what I thought was a good temperature at the middle ended up being way too high at the top where the queen was. And literally, I'm guessing she died within the first day or two. After I dissected her cell on day 16, when she didn't emerge, I kind of figured something was up because I had been having trouble keeping it at the right temperature even before that. But I didn't realize the temperature swing from the bottom of the incubator to the top. There's no circulation fan in there, which makes all the heat rises to the top. Anyways, so that's a lesson. You saw I started grafts again, so I did it over again, and I had a better success this time. I had 16 of my cells take, which I was ecstatic about. And I'm waited till day 11. I got the day off. I was all prepared. I was going to get all my mating nukes ready to put the cells in the mating nukes. And I just thought to myself, you know what, you better count, make sure, because maybe they took a couple down or whatever, just to make sure how many you're going to need. So I pulled the frame out, and I didn't have a single cell. And why didn't I have a single cell? Well, she's the reason why. Right here. Yep, the queen. I had shaken brood from some colonies into my cell builder. Added some nurse bees to my cell builder, and I shook a frame with a mated queen into my cell builder, and she went and killed every single cell, every single one of them. So now I have literally wasted, our summer is short enough as it is, but I have wasted 2 full weeks trying to get queen cells ready for mating nukes, and I'm extremely frustrated at this point, mad at myself. This is why I don't do how-to videos, because I'm still learning about beekeeping. This is a journal of my beekeeping, about learning from mistakes and building on successes, and hopefully all you can learn on that. I will probably never again shake any frames into a cell builder without sending them through a queen excluder or a shake box first, just to make sure that there are no queens in that cell builder. So there's a lesson learned. Another lesson that a friend of mine learned, he had a similar issue. He didn't put any brood frames in his. All he did was shook bees into his, and he put a pollen frame in and a honey frame. And turns out there must have been an egg or 2 or 3 or 4 on his pollen frame, and they hatched out and killed every single one of his queen cells. So huge lesson learned. Another one had wind damage, and he lost all his queens. So that had nothing to do with anything but Mother Nature. But again, you know, they say that you know, like I said earlier, you know, bees are very forgiving for your mistakes. Well, not when it comes to queen rearing at all. You make a mistake like that, and you just set yourself back, and it's really that simple. You got to stay on top of it. I wish I had more time for my bees right now. I wish I could have gotten in there. If I would have been in that hive a little more, maybe I would have noticed her before she, you know, maybe I would have noticed some, you know, brood or eggs or something in some of the cells if I'd have checked the cells during the week. But I don't get home till dark. So that's either in the 2 times that I did get home before dark, it was pouring rain, so I couldn't get at them. Anyways, excuses. I'm one of those guys where I don't give up. I just don't. So right after that, I immediately went back. I immediately grafted more cells. I put them in here yesterday morning. I put them in there yesterday morning, and I'm going to just check on them today and see if they're building anything out. And then tomorrow, what I'm going to do after grafting on day 2 or 3, which is like probably day 5 and 6 for a larvae's or an egg's life, I guess you could say, or a larvae's life. They have the extreme ability. They're not yet in the pupal stage to survive. They're going to have all the royal jelly that they're ever going to need, and they don't necessarily need that right at 93.6 degree temperature range. It can drop down to whatever, and it can take jostling, and it can take a lot of things that a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 day old cannot take, because those are in the pupal stage. They're already in a cocoon. So it's a good time. You can they'll have all the royal jelly that they're ever going to need, and you can take those cells out and you can stick them directly in the nukes. They have all the royal jelly, so your mating nukes don't need to feed that larvae anything. All they need to do is cap the cell, and you just need enough bees in your mating nuke to cap the cell, which the bees will take care of, and put one in each nuke, and away you go. So in the event, and that's why you don't have to worry about a rogue queen being in there, because she won't have killed them. She doesn't kill the queen cells until they're capped. That's when the queens will go run around, and they can sense another queen's presence, and they will kill those queens. But in the larvae stage, in the royal jelly stage, it doesn't bother them. So just in case, that's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I'm going to put together, well, I'm going to look today, see how many I got active, and then I'm going to put them together. Hang tight. Sit. Sit. Be good. Stay. My dog likes to go over and visit all the houses, but some of the dogs don't really like that a whole lot. I can't say I blame them, so I try to keep him around me as best I can, but sometimes when I'm talking to myself in the camera, he likes to sneak off. So anyways, we're gonna pop this cover off, and I'm gonna take a look and see what I got. They're not eating on it too much there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28 or 29, somewhere around there. Oh, yeah, maybe you want to see this. Yeah, here we go. So I got, I don't know, like I said, about 28 or 29 of them that I've got started here. So that's good, and maybe some of them will get torn down by tomorrow. But that's really all I needed to know what they've drawn out. Okay. So yeah, what I'll end up doing is tomorrow morning I will get my double hives all prepared. I'm going to bring up 4 frames of brood, shake the bees down. I'll bring up 4 frames of brood. I'll put a queen excluder down, you know, have all the bees shake down, put the queen excluder down, put the brood frames back on, and all the nurse bees will climb up through the frames back around the brood and make my mating nukes from that. I've got one. That one's probably not going to do me any good. I've got 3 nukes like that. I also have I have 4 swarm hives that I caught, and I might be able to scavenge a frame, you know, skim off a frame of each of those, as long as I don't skim off the queen, right? So that's my plan. If you're interested in this, now I've never tried to put a 5-day-old larvae or a cell into a nuke before, but this isn't breaking new ground. Larry Connor has been doing this for quite some time. It does take some planning, you know, to get it to come out. But Larry, in some of his seminars, has talked about pulling out the 2 or 3 day old larvae, or 2 and 3 day old after grafting cells, bringing them on a plane to his class, you know, and then having his class and then handing out the cells to his students to put in a mating nuke. He says they drop down to 65 degrees and they can survive in that royal jelly. They're swimming in the royal jelly. It does not bother them, but that's the only point in time that they can survive, you know, a drop in temperature like that. I'll be interested to see how it turns out. You know, I'm kind of tired of waiting so long to do this. My weekends are being eaten up just by my beekeeping, and then these failures happen, and it's like it's just wasted time, and I have so many other projects that I need to get done. that this seems a viable option. It's not a shortcut. Well, I guess it is a shortcut in a way, in an aspect, but it's a proven system of doing it. There are a million ways to beekeep, and this is just one way to do it. So, anyways, till next time, take care, happy beekeeping, and remember, all beekeeping is local.